was at home and Ashley asked me to do this tonight. I said yes, but I was gonna call her up and say, nope, I'm not doing it. And then she texted me something, and her mom texted me. It's like, I can't explain it, but it's just amazing. Well, well, growing up, our family was broken. There was 8 of us all together, and unfortunately, I was the most hated. My mom dedicated her life to Jesus. I went to church, I knew about God, but I was confused. I was very, very confused about this. Growing up, I was physically, mentally, and sexually tortured and abused by my brothers and sisters and their friends. My testimony was like, I wanted to know what love is. Because growing up, there was no such thing for me. The abuse started when I was like 7 years old, and it all started because I had black hair and hazel eyes. My brothers and sisters had blonde hair, blue eyes. So I was told I was not wanted in the family and I didn't belong. So the abuse and the torture was, it was just painful. I'm just gonna say a couple things. I just want to be a part of the family, but they didn't want nothing to do with me. I can remember, I'm telling 2 things in detail. I can remember my brothers and his friends built a fort in the woods, and I wanted to belong to that club. So I thought I made it because they took me down there. But unfortunately, my brother tied me up, tortured me, and had his friends sexually torture me and physically torture me. This went on for a very long time. My brothers and sisters, I was in the car, our family car, getting on the highway in New Haven. They decided they were going to push me out of the car and try to kill me. The back of the car ran me over. I wound up with 38 stitches across my head. And just this was because black hair, hazel eyes. And just kept telling me that I did not belong. So this went on for many, many years. I tried my best to have them love me, but it wasn't there with them. What got me confused about God, I go to church and I hear how great God is. At the time I was like, there can't be a God if I was going through all this pain. It's impossible. I don't believe it. I went to church and I was just there. I didn't hear nothing. I didn't listen. I just didn't want to be a part of it because of this pain I went through. I didn't have nobody to turn to, nobody to talk to, because our family was what goes behind closed doors, stay behind closed doors. So I didn't have no one to talk to at all. My mom was a Christian, but more confused, and she just told me I was crazy. Nothing like that would happen. So it just confused me about God. It just went on for many, many years. So I thought at the age of 18, I moved out of my house because guess what? I'm controlling my life now. I could do this. I know what I want. I could control my life. Well, that didn't work out too good. Through school and everything, very well in school, but I was antisocial because I didn't trust nobody. I didn't trust nobody. I wanted nobody around me. And if something was going good, I had to destroy it before you hurt me. That's how I felt. I didn't want to get hurt. So I would destroy something that was good for me. I just, growing up, I didn't have no kind of emotions. I was just like a piece of steel, cold steel. Just no emotions whatsoever. None. And I managed to get married in 1991. I had 2 beautiful daughters, but I got married, but I didn't have a relationship with my wife. I just got married. And unfortunately, I became addicted to drugs, and by using drugs, that took all my pain away. I found something that helped me. But years went by. I finally got divorced in 1995. I left my 2 daughters behind. And I moved to Baltimore because I heard my father was living in Baltimore, so I'm going down there to meet him. Well, I get down to Baltimore, and he didn't want nothing to do with me. He told me he wasn't my father. So here I am, I had no clue who my father is. I had nobody to talk to, nobody. I just wanted to feel love. I just wanted to hug. I never got any of that. All I got is stitches, beatings, and that's all I got. So in Baltimore, I got stuck in Baltimore. So I found a good job. I always kept a job because that was like a safe spot for me, away from all the abuse and everything. So I was in Baltimore just alone. The only thing I had was my addiction. I got married to my addiction. That was my relief. I just became this cold-hearted person. I just didn't want to be bothered with nobody. I had no one. You couldn't. Nothing. No emotions whatsoever. So my addiction got really bad. I wound up going to prison in 2001 for 16 years. I was behind a wall. Unfortunately, I was in the state of Baltimore in prison, and when I walked into prison, the first thing I received was a New Testament Bible. That's the first thing you get. The chaplain's waiting for you. But to me, that was just a book. I never opened it. It was just something that was given to me. And through the prison, I'm not going to get details of prison. Well, I had survived prison, and I did some things that were horrible. I mean, horrible. But by doing these horrible things, I found a family. These guys loved me for what I did. It was totally wrong what I did. But I had something that I had never had in my life, was a family. But it was the wrong family. It was the wrong family. So I survived prison. I got out in 2017, March 7th, 2017, I got out of prison. But just knowing I never was out of prison. I came home, and I was in prison with myself. Just, prison made me a monster. So that's the only way I can describe it. I became a monster. So I carry that out. March 7, 2017, when I walked out the doors, I went to Waterbury in a halfway house. where I was in a worse prison than I was in Baltimore. I didn't trust nobody. I didn't want to talk to nobody. It was just me. I built myself a comfortable place, being alone and in darkness. I was comfortable there, because that's what I knew. That's just all I knew. Was horrible things. If I did horrible things, people accepted me. When I did good things, nobody wanted to know me. I tried with my family. They hated my guts. They hated me. And when I was in prison, I had this master plan of getting revenge on my family. I was coming after them when I got out of prison. Well, when I came out of prison, I found out that my entire family passed away. Mother, father, everybody passed away. I had nobody. But yet, I say, I was the ugliest one with addiction, went to prison, yet I'm still alive for some reason. What? This can't be, something's wrong. So I thought, let me do some more destruction and see how this works out. I found a great job in New York, working from the halfway house. At the whole time, no relationship with my kids at all, none. They didn't want nothing to do with the father. My oldest daughter, Courtney, she became addicted because she wanted to know what the feeling that I had, that I chose drugs over her, so she wanted to find out why. Unfortunately, her sister found her dead twice in her apartment. Twice. She OD'd. But today she's living. Today she's alive, and she's a nurse, believe it or not. Both of my girls are nurses. So me being out of prison, I've always found work, but I didn't want to get close to nobody, because you're not going to hurt me. I will destroy the relationship before I get hurt. But that was it's what I knew. When I got out, for 16 years in prison, I stayed clean, because in Baltimore, Maryland, you could get anything in prison. But I stayed clean for 16 years. I came home in March, October, I relapsed. And my first relapse caused me to OD and drop dead. My addiction has honestly killed me 4 times. And 4 times it brought me back to life for some reason. So through my addiction, I got some help at a Waterbury called the Call of House. And through me going to treatment, I met a guy named Rich. We became really, really close. And so I started, we did the program together, everything was good, we got out. And he introduced me to a group in Waterbury. I believe it's called the Home Gathering. And I got introduced to Art, Mike, and Pam, and others. It's like he was setting a path for me. But when I went to group on Sunday, I just sat there and just pretending I was listening. I just didn't want nothing to do with God. I really, really didn't want nothing to do with him. All this pain he put me through, there cannot be a God. there just can't be a God. And that was, that was me. I want nothing to do with it. But I kept going to these Bible studies with them. We had them outside and, discuss scriptures. But I didn't hear nothing. I really didn't. But he tried to set the path for me. I guess at the time, he was turning his life around. But I wasn't ready to turn my life around. I was mad because I couldn't get revenge on my family for what they did to me. It was just, I really hated myself. I tried suicide 5 times. 5 times. I succeeded twice. For some reason, they brought me back. I was mad. I was real mad. Pam, Art, they just opened their arms to me. They opened their home. I got to go in their house. Like, do they realize who I am and what I've done? And they're opening their homes to me. It was just, I couldn't believe it. Why would they care about a wench like me? Because I've done some terrible things.
Because we love you.
It's just it's something, to this day, I just don't, I'm still shocked. I mean, from 2017 to 2021, I was homeless, living on the streets of Woodbury. I was using, and I had friends because I was using. I had a good thing going with them, but I destroyed it because they weren't going to hurt me. No possible way, not again. But Art actually let me work at his business, the Financial Solutions in Waterbury. And I lied to him the whole time. I was using, I told him I wasn't. I lied, And my buddy Rich really stood behind me, tried to help, and unfortunately, he passed away last week then. I'm really pissed off at him because he promised me he would never go back out. So this, I was more comfortable in the dark than being around people because that's what I knew. I was comfortable there. I don't know what happened where I left the home gathering group. I can't recall why. I think it's because I was using. And then the whole time I was in Waterbury on the streets, I heard about a place called Joseph House in Torrington. The whole time on the street, Joe. I made it into the shelter, but I'm still using it because that was my comfort zone. It took all the pain away from me. It took the pain away. I didn't have to worry about nobody around me. The good people didn't want me around because I was using, so that was even better. But the whole time I was in Waterbury, everyone talked about Joseph House. And it's funny because I never said anything to nobody about this. It's funny because when I was in prison, my last 4 cellmates' names were Joe. All 4 of them. So I didn't know, I didn't put nothing together. So I made it into the shelter, and I started thinking a little bit, maybe this God thing might work for me. It just might. So I went to St. John's Church in Waterbury, but I just went. It was a place to go in the morning where it was warm, and I went. So I made it to the shelter in Waterbury, and for some reason, the staff there thought I'd be a good candidate for housing. What? Me? Do you realize what I've done in my life? People I've hurt. So they said, well, I think it'd be really good for you if you look into this housing thing. But there's one catch. I have to move to Torrington. Why Torrington? Well, they have a lot of landlords up there that takes our rapid housing. So they told me I had to find an apartment. I said, well, you know something? I'm not going to look for one. Not in Torrington. Nope. Maybe in Waterbury. Next day, my case manager called me into the office and said, listen, Randy, we found an apartment for you. I said, is it Waterbury? No, it's in Torrington. I'm like, why do I have to go to Torrington? Because you have to. I have to. So let me check this out. Let me come to Torrington and find out what this is all about. So I've been in Torrington for 2 years now. So I moved out here, and I wanted to find Joseph House. Let me check this place out, see what it's about. So Sunday morning, I came down and they had church service called Thrive Church. So I said, listen, I can't go in there. They're not going to allow me to go in there. I'm not allowed in there. I'm a criminal. I'm a drug addict. God don't accept people like me. And there was a blonde lady at the door. She opened the door for me and welcomed me. And honestly, I was scared to death that the place was going to fall because I was a monster. I really was a monster. But they opened the door for me. I came in, I sat, and then they gave me a Bible to take home. I'm like, all right, it was like dust at home. I didn't open the Bible not once. Nope. But week after week, I came here every Sunday, and I started asking, where's Joe at? I heard this guy named Joe. Where can I find him at? He's never here. I thought, well, Joe has a store that he runs too, so maybe you could go down there and see Joe down there. Or you can find him on Tuesday nights. So I said, okay, let me come on Tuesday night. So Tuesday night came, and my thing is they're not going to let me in. I'm a criminal. I'm a drug addict. They don't accept people like me in church. So I came in, Joe was here. And also, who was here was Gary DeRosa. So Joe told me his story, Gary told me his story. I'm like, what? You did what? You were what? You went to prison? You can't be a pastor if you went to prison. But I thought, there's 2 guys just like me. So maybe this thing might work for me. So I kept coming. I started opening the Bible a little bit, but I really didn't understand it. But I kept coming. And then things started happening. Joe, my doors, at this time, my doors did not talk to me. They wanted nothing to do with me. They didn't have nothing to do with me at all. But I kept coming on Tuesday nights. And then little things started happening for me. I didn't have a bed to sleep in. Oh, there's a guy named Jim Wilson. Talk to him. I don't know how many, it was just days, and next thing I know, he had a bed for me. I was praying for it. I said, let me try this. I'm gonna start doing this. And then all my furniture came from Pam, just the water, Home Gather gave me everything I needed. Here they gave me stuff. So I started getting a little interest in this person called God. But back in my mind, if there's a God, why did I go through so much pain and agony? That's not love. And he's supposed to love everybody. So I kept coming, and things started happening. So then one day, I believe I came up front to give prayer. And just something came over me. And I started having emotions a lot. You know, I told Joe, why am I crying all the time? Why am I crying all the time? I hear a song, I cry. I hear sweet. I didn't understand it. And he explained it to me, the Holy Spirit. But, I said, okay, I'm going to church. I'm doing everything right. Let me call my daughters and get this relationship back. Nope. And Joe told me, it's not on my time. They will come around. No, they won't. No, they won't. So I kept coming to Joseph's house. And I started praying and reading the Bible. I started understanding a little bit of it. And then, for some reason, God started putting people in my life, positive people in my life. And he started taking the bad people out of my life. Now I know that not only we get blessed, but he blesses us by taking things out of our life.
Yeah.
To make it better. And then I heard Muddy Boots. There's just something about Muddy Boots that just had me just weeping every song they sang. There's something about Muddy Boots. So when everything started changing for me, I started coming here regularly. And I said, today I know this. God put me in storms because my prayer was this: give me strength. And he gave me strength by walking me through storms. I was walking through storms. And it says in the Bible that he walks with us. He never promised that there wouldn't be any storms, but he will be there with us.
Yeah.
No matter what. No matter what. So, I don't weep about sad. I'm just happy.
Thank you, Lord.
I'm happy.
Hallelujah.
So things just, good things just kept coming. And like, I asked Ness this. I'm like, what did I contribute to God for him to give us his son? What did I do to contribute to get all these blessings? He's like, you didn't do nothing. He loves you. He just loves you. So things started turning around. I remember Joe taking me for a ride around Highland Lake. And I was talking about my daughter. She said, Randy, listen, it's going to happen. They're going to come around. Trust me, they're going to come around. I'm like, man, you don't know what you're talking about. You have no clue what you're talking about. So my beat kept coming here. And I honestly was lying to Joe. We have a men's group, and I lied to him because in 2021 when I moved, I was using. And Joe knew I was using. But when he asked me, I thought he was attacking me. So I got angry. Now, I never showed the angry part of me. But I was angry with him. This guy, but I found out that he wasn't attacking me at all. That this guy named Joe cared about me. Like, I don't know why. I just don't know why. But just everything started coming together for me. Like coming here. So one night Joe called me out at our men's meeting. I think it was at Bob's Traps House, I believe. So I became honest with the whole group, and I told them that I was using. Well, honestly, last week, I have 15 months clean.
Hallelujah.
When things happen, I honestly just surrendered. I was like, you know something? My way don't work. Every time I do it my way, I hurt myself. It's got to stop. And from that point when he called me out, my life has turned around. Turned around. And I remember Art asked me, he was just be honest with me, were you using? I was like, Art, yes, I was using when I was working with you. Yes, I was. But by me being honest and surrendering, it was so much easier to get things out and say. And then, I realized today that God sends people in your life to help. When I want to say this right, I hope I don't offend them. But Ashley's family is like they adopted me. It's like they adopted me. It's like God put them there because let me tell you, I was not going to talk tonight. But here comes Ashley. Text me. Her mom texted me. I was like, oh. Just God puts people at the right time, the right place.
Amen.
And I never thought I would be welcome at Joseph's house like I've been. The love that I was looking for wasn't out there. It wasn't a heart. It was a cross.
Yeah.
That's where the love's at. And with that cross, there's a family right here that accepted me for me. I had a lot of trouble. I wanted people to like me, so I did things just to please them. But I was pleasing the wrong people. And I know that today. You know, I said, Ashley's family just, God sent angels around me. They really have. And Joe started it all for me. Joseph House saved my life. It saved my life. I'm going through health issues. I showed Joe a picture of my back. I'm waiting for the images to come back. So I went and got new images, and the doctor said my spine relined. There's not one disc out. There's nothing. And then they want to go in, because I have seizures. A couple of weeks I had a bad one. They want to go in and scrape part of my brain that's causing the seizures. I said, you know, Doc, I honestly got a better medicine today.
Yep.
You're not going inside my brain. I don't have nothing out there anyway. You're not taking the rest of it. It's just by me surrendering and being honest, my life has changed.
Come on
I
now.
love God today.
Come on, man.
I am here. I had a couple, I think I told Ashley this. I had a couple visions in my sleep that I was out in town going to business praying for the business I walked into. And for me to be up here, and I remember, I found out my mom passed away when I was in prison. And her last words said, son, you're safe. But the only thing she wanted was one of her children to be saved. Well, I surrendered. And today, I have a relationship with both of my daughters.
Amen.
Both of them. Joe told me just be patient. Just be patient. And I did something popped up. I said, be patient with God, be patient with you. It's just I can't explain how I feel, why I weep. But as soon as Muddy Boots start playing, give me the tissues. It's just like tonight, the songs they play was like they're singing my testimony. They're singing my testimony. But I got a relation. My daughters, my youngest daughter has her second child, and she said, Dad, just be patient, I'm gonna have you over. So you can meet your grandkids.
Lord.
And since I have not had a seizure in 2 weeks, my back doesn't hurt me. I just can't wait for these images so I can show Joe my back. Doctors like, listen, Randy, you're not supposed to be walking. That's how bad my back was. My lumbar spine, L3, L4, collapsed on top of L5, which cracked L5. And the doctor said, you ain't supposed to be walking. You're not supposed to be walking. So I'm just so grateful for Joseph House to open the doors for me, and they didn't judge me for what I've done in my life. I think Art, Pam, Mike, they steered me in the right direction. And I believe Art even told me about Joe and Boynton. I'm really grateful. I want to thank Ashley's family. Joe, I love you. Thank you for all you've done for me. Because without this place, I would be dead. I really would be dead. I'm just so, today I'm happy. I'm happy that I made the right decision and gave up me doing me. You know, when I asked him, it's just, I can't explain. I mean, I was embarrassed about what happened to me and what I've done. And I did not want to come here tonight.
Look at God.
I did not want to come here.
Look at God.
It's just,
You blessed us.
I was just,
Amen.
you know, all my life, I wasn't loved. My family did. The people that's supposed to love you the most turned out to hate me the most. And the people that shouldn't open their arms to me, open their arms to me. So, you know, I just opened, you know, I asked God just to take over. Just take over. I'll get in the back seat, you drive. Because I just keep crashing. I just keep crashing. It's just unbelievable that I'm accepted here. Other church, I could walk into other churches and not be judged. Not be judged. And that's all I wanted my whole life, just to be loved. That's it. But I was looking for love in all the wrong places. All the wrong places. I thought I could find a relationship, but I can't have a relationship because I never had a relationship with myself. I hated myself. You know, the people you surround yourself with, that's who you become. I think I made the right decision of surrounding myself with everybody here. And I know there's people I could call when I'm not feeling. I don't even have to call them. They show up. They just show up. It's unbelievable. It really is. They just show up at the right time. And it's funny because I told Ashley, she said, I had a feeling you were going to cancel. I had a feeling you did. And then it just pops up on my phone, like, okay, I won't cancel. I'll come. And I'm glad I did come. So all I ask,
We're glad you did.
all I ask is just to keep me on the right path, guide me. And sometimes I don't feel I'm doing enough for God. Because I forget to thank Him for a lot of things. When things are going good, I forget Him. I really do. I'm sorry, but when things are going good, I forget who they come from. And it's funny because if I don't pray before I eat, I feel I'm convicted right away. It's like, there's no one around me. Why do I feel so bad? And lately that's how it's been going. When I'm not doing right, I feel my conviction right away. Right away. I think I posted that on Facebook, you know. God, for the times I forget, thank you. I love God today. There's no other way to live. There's no other way to live.
Amen.
No other way to live. I just can't say thanks enough to the people who, I gotta tell you a story, real quick story. Before I became honest with Joe and everybody, I was out in Waterbury using. So I'm walking down the street. I was gonna walk home from Waterbury because I had no ride out here. So I started walking. I got down to Thompson Avenue, and there was this Bible store that was open. And I see the guy going, what? All right, I'm going in. Stop pushing me. I don't know who's pushing. I went to the store, and it was our son, Josh. As soon as I saw Josh, I broke down. He was supposed to tell me, so, Josh, I've been using it. I just don't worry about it. I got you. And this man stopped working and drove me home to make sure I got home. It was just, like I said, God just puts people at the right place at the right time. And for him to drive me home, I started thinking about going the right way, but I was still driving the car. Off the wall, off the guardrails, off the cliff. So just tonight, I'm just thankful that I'm able, because it's nothing short of a miracle that I stand here tonight. I should be dead. I experienced death. I felt my soul leaving, and I went into this white cloud, like a cotton ball. And I heard my mom, at the time my wife, her voice started echoing as I got farther and farther away. And boom, I was down. The next morning, I had a stroke, and I survived it. There's only one answer for that, and that's God. And I thank Him. Because today, if I didn't go through all them storms, I wouldn't be here talking and be the person I am today. Thank you for listening. Thank you. I don't think we have time. She was going to play a song for me. Come on.
As you were talking, Randy, I'm thinking of these lyrics to this song. It says, "Who am I that the Lord of all the earth would care to know my name, would care to feel my birth? Who am I that the bright morning star would choose to light the way for my ever-wandering heart? Not because of who I am, but because of what you've done. Not because of what I've done, but because of who you are." You're not alone. You know, these things you're sharing with us, there's so many of us in here that have gone through exactly the same thing. That's why testimonies are so important. Romans 2:4. It says, His kindness is meant to lead us to repentance. It's His kindness that leads us. It's His kindness that opens our minds. Wasn't that long ago, Randy? Wasn't that long ago when you walked in here? Isn't it amazing? I couldn't help but think that Tuesday you walked in here, how divinely that day was structured. That means, first of all, I have Gary DeRosa here. When I told him he just came out of prison not that long ago, and he gave me his testimony, and I said, "You're in the right place." Let's just lift our hands and pray for Randy.